So you're thinking about moving to relocating here to San Diego, specifically North County. Today, we're gonna get into the best of the best of the best of North County. Right here, we're going like kind of a little bit of everything, beaches, breweries, food, trails. Stay tuned to the end, a little bit on schools. So all that is going down right now.
Hello, I'm Cassidy Lewis.
And I'm Chris Erickson.
And we are both realtors here in North County, San Diego. And this is where you come for all things North County. If it's your first time watching our videos, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. We're dropping new videos every single week on all things North County, neighborhoods, things to do, places to go, and everything in between. So definitely follow along. And if you're thinking about moving to San Diego, definitely hit us up, call, text, email. We love helping people get out this way. So first step is get in touch with us. We have people reaching out every single week and we love helping people get out this way. So definitely hit us up.
And so today we're jumping into our best of the best, from beaches, where are they, to our local trails. There's a lot around here. We got some breweries in there. As with a lot of videos, we got to bring up the breweries. So who has the best breweries in, are we gonna go city? Are we gonna go streets? I don't know, stay tuned for that. And then at the end, we're gonna jump into a little bit about schools, the best schools around here, or more, how to find the best schools around here. So let's jump into it right now.
One of the biggest reasons people move to North County, San Diego is for the beaches. And so we're gonna give you our best beaches. So my favorite spot in North County, Cardiff is one of my favorite towns in general, but Cardiff State Beach is just a great stretch of beach here in North County. It's a great walking beach. It's got a good surf break at the north side. It's got a parking lot. It's got parking along the street. It's just got pretty much everything you need in a beach. It's one of the only beaches also for a long stretch that's dog friendly on leash. So great spot if you just want to go walk your dog.
And I'm gonna jump right onto that too. One of my favorite beaches is the Cardiff State Beach. Reason being, super easy access. I have 2 kids. When we're going to the beach, we need somewhere easy to park. And literally the south end of Cardiff, there's a huge parking lot. If you have the yearly annual pass, you can park there for free. Otherwise it's like $10 or something like that. And you're parking and it's maybe 10 steps to the sand. So you get set up there, bring all your gear. It's super easy. As you go further north, like Encinitas, or even to the South Solana Beach, all those beaches are lined by bluffs. So if you have little guys, it's gonna be tough to get down there because you're going through downstairs or like little trails over at Beacon. So that is kind of my favorite beach for the ease of access. And if I'm surfing, I have a few different little breaks, little beaches. I really dig the Encinitas breaks just because super local. I don't have a ton of time, so if I'm living in Encinitas, I'm just shooting down to one of our local spots. And sometimes it's the Kook, Northern Cardiff, or Beacons is one of my all-time favorites, just a nice mellow wave. So I got a few different beaches for a few different things. When I was growing up, we used to go to all the beaches, Carlsbad, Oceanside, kind of up and down the coast. Right now, I'm just, like I said, kind of focused on the Encinitas area because it's just super easy for, commute-wise. And depending on where you're living, you might just shoot straight down to the beach. Palmer Airport Road, you're gonna run right into the end at Carlsbad right there. If you're further to the north, you're going to the Oceanside beaches. I was just talking with my nephew and he was saying one of his favorite surf breaks is the harbor, just right to the north. The jetties out there are super killer. I don't quite make it up there too much anymore, but there's a lot of other options. Our favorite is gonna be Cardiff. Next up on the best of the best, we're hopping into another great outdoor activity here in North County, San Diego, and it's the trails here. Now there's a lot of different trail systems. A lot of them are on hills, so be ready to get some exercise. A lot of places around here have some elevation change. There are some flat ones that I found running around, but my best of the best trails right here is back in Olivenhain, and it connects a bunch of different systems. So there's a big equestrian community back there. A lot of the houses have horses or stables and that kind of stuff. So a lot of the trails, a lot of them are city maintained, which is great, but they're nice and wide, easy running, and it kind of cruises back through, like going back towards Escondido, which you don't think of Olivenhain and Escondido being next to each other, but on the back end, they actually touch. So there's a lot of trails back there. And it's just really fun too, because you're cruising through. If you're driving through Olivenhain, you see a lot of the neighborhoods from the streets and from like Lone Jack, which is the main road. When you're on the trails, you get to see the elevation changes, the rolling hills back there, these beautiful properties, and it's super fun to explore. I've been running a lot lately, so I've been hitting those trails up right back there. I don't know how many miles are back there, but there's plenty of areas to explore.
One of my favorite trails and kind of areas to hike in North County is right in my backyard in San Elijo Hills. There is a great jump off point called Sage Hill Preserve right off Quest Haven, right in the heart of San Elijo Hills. And it kind of takes you into the back area, or the northeast area of San Elijo Hills, right into Elfin Forest, which Elfin Forest has a ton of trails. So it's really a good jumping off point to a lot of different options. If you go, another one of my favorite spots a little bit further out than that is the Harmony Grove trails out in Elfin Forest and Harmony Grove area. And there are a ton of trail systems out there. A lot of them are huge, steep, zigzagging trails up to the reservoir, but there's a bunch of really cool spots. There were a whole bunch of trails in Olivenhain that I grew up cruising through and kind of always liked that creek, river type hiking. And so Elfin Forest and Harmony Grove definitely have that option. So North County, San Diego as a whole doesn't have a ton of neighborhoods that are really walkable. But there are a couple really great ones. Part of the reason that there's a lot of neighborhoods that aren't walkable is because of all the hills and mountains and stuff here in North County. But one of my favorites is a community called Encinitas Highlands. It's just south of Encinitas Boulevard, and it's a great neighborhood. The houses are great. There's a lot of little beach cottages and then bigger, newer homes in the area. And you can just walk right down into downtown Encinitas. It's a 5-minute walk from a lot of the houses there. So a really great spot. It's also a quick little walk or bike ride down to the beach. So it's definitely one of the most walkable areas in North County. And from that neighborhood, some of the spots that you can hit up that are our favorite are definitely the Beer Garden is one of our favorite restaurants, and they have a ton of beers on tap. Better Buzz Coffee is one of our favorites. Our office is down there, so you can come say hi. And there's a ton of other great restaurants and bars in that area.
In my best walkable neighborhood in North County, it's on the northern part of 92009, right in Carlsbad, just south of Palomar Airport Road. We were just kind of chatting, and the whole neighborhood is not necessarily walkable, but kind of the northern section by the town center and stuff is super walkable. It's Bressy Ranch, and it's kind of like a East Coast-ish feeling neighborhood, kind of housing styles, really small yards, really tight in there. It's a newer community kind of here in North County as a whole. You know, it's not brand new or anything, but the little town center cruising through, it's pretty cool. Board and Brew is a nice little sandwich and beer spot right there. They just built a huge new section onto the other side with all the shopping you need, grocery stores, all that kind of stuff. There's a little coffee shop. Well, there's a few coffee shops spread throughout there. Some restaurants, Casero, WR Kitchen and Bar. Is that what it's called? That's one of his favorites. WR Kitchen and Bar, some good barbecue and stuff up there. So, and all that is walkable from a lot of certain little spots of Bressy Ranch. There's also some parks and whatnot spread throughout the community as well, so you could kind of cruise to those.
As you've heard us talking about a ton, North County, San Diego as a whole is really well known for our breweries. Yep, we've got one up there. And one of my favorite, we're going to tell you our favorite brewery towns in North County, and mine is definitely San Marcos, although our favorite brewery, my favorite brewery, is not in San Marcos, but as a whole, San Marcos is great. It's got Lost Abbey in San Elijo Hills called The Sanctuary. It's got Wild Barrel, which is a great spot. It's got Double Peak Brewing, and the original Lost Abbey is in San Marcos also on the north side, and that actually is where Stone started, so which is one of the biggest breweries here in San Diego. So definitely a really great brewery town.
In my best brewery town here in North County, San Diego, centrally located, it's got a ton of breweries right in this little tiny kind of commercial area of Vista. And there are a ton, like there's literally like enough breweries in there where you could walk to probably like 3 or 4 or 5 different breweries in this little commercial area kind of right off Sycamore. There's actually a new one, and we'll give you a review maybe sometime, but we're going to pretty soon here. Pure Project, they took over an old brewery right up there. They're a killer brewery right here in North County, San Diego. You got Booze Brothers, you got Mother Earth, and there's a bunch of others in that little zone as well. So if we're cruising through it, like I said, it's kind of central, so it's really easy to get to. A lot of these breweries do distribute, so you can kind of find a lot of this stuff kind of in all little liquor stores or little bottle shops right around here. But if you want these tasting rooms and go cruise around, a lot of them have built out these outdoor spaces. Some have food there. Belgian Beaver's another one too. It's got a killer little space up there. Honorable mention is gonna be Oceanside. I just don't venture up there enough because it's super spread out, but Oceanside has been blossoming as a really good hub for craft beer up here in North County, San Diego. So they have a lot from the coast going all the way back through Oceanside. Nice little spot to check out too.
And Carlsbad's not really well known for having a bunch of breweries, but it does have my favorite, which is Virgin Brewery, which is right in a commercial zone of Carlsbad. A great spot, great beer, great people.
So let's jump into food a little bit. Now, San Diego as a whole, going from downtown, spread out, there's a ton of good food. One of our best foods around, just kind of that we're known for, Mexican food. You can kind of find that everywhere, a ton of taco shops everywhere. But also like on up the line, there's all kinds of local chefs starting little places in different cities. There's little food hubs down to the south. North Park has a lot of good food down that way. But since we're focusing on North County, my spot that I'm gonna say is the best of the best is gonna be Leucadia. And specifically, there's a little section just north of Leucadia Boulevard, and it's a little stretch. There's a sushi spot, Kaiola Sushi. You keep going down. La Papagayo is actually kind of a fun little spot. They have a lot of live music and stuff. And then there's actually a winery down there, Solterra, where they make the wine right kind of on Coast Highway right there. So they have some grub there as well. There's a bunch of little spots. There's some cool breakfast spots in there. If you keep going up the road, there is Fish 101, local fish spot, fish bowls, poke, all kinds of good stuff there. So that's where I'm gonna go with my local food.
And my best of the best for areas to grab a bite would definitely be that Bressi Ranch section that Chris mentioned earlier. There's a ton of new restaurants in there that have just been built in the last couple of years. Casero is one of my favorite, great Mexican spot. Chris mentioned WR Kitchen and Bar is a good spot. Ebullition is a really good brewery and restaurant. And you can't go wrong with Pizza Port, which is right down the street from all those. Great pizza, great beer, and just a really good spot to hit a lot of restaurants.
And now we're gonna hop into the best of the best schools, local schools. Where do you find the best local schools? We're not gonna get into specifically the actual best schools, but we're gonna kind of chat about how to find the best schools and what to look for. So it really kind of comes down to the neighborhood that you're gonna be wanting to live. So North County as a whole has traditionally been really good schools all around. Everybody's gonna have their own little specific wants and needs, and that's kind of where you should focus on. So besides the neighborhood you want to live in, explore the schools. What kind of programs do they have? What are they offering? What do you want to put your kids, what kind of programs do you want your kids in? All that kind of stuff is super important. You can even hop on the phone and, or email, however you want to do it, and actually chat with people from the school and just kind of dig in a little bit deeper and get deeper than just kind of looking at a rating online, like is it rated 8, 9, 7, whatever it might be. It really is going to come down to a lot of different factors besides just that.
And like Chris mentioned, the ratings can be a little bit deceiving, and they do change over the years, specifically in areas where there's been a lot of development, a lot of money gets put into the schools, which also then kind of bumps those ratings up because they have more programs, and they just have more money coming in from the taxes and fees that go along with building new homes and new construction. So more money to support the students and the staff and everybody. So those, like I said, those ratings do change. So if you have specific questions, like Chris said, definitely reach out to the schools themselves and the districts themselves, because they will have the most updated information. So if you've identified a specific school or at least a specific district, we can then help you kind of pinpoint the areas that would feed into that school or district and find the best neighborhood that might work for you in there.
So that's kind of our best of the best. Being here, growing up here, like I said, everybody has their own little bubbles. As you spread out, you're gonna find your own little neighborhoods, your own little spots, your own little best of the best. Let us know what you think right below about kind of what we're saying, what you think, if you have seen any of these areas, if you've been out here, if you visited out here, or any specific areas that you think are the best, just let us know. Let our other people know on this channel too, so they can kind of do some exploring. And a lot of these beaches or trails or breweries, they're kind of accessible through a lot of different neighborhoods and different areas here in North County. So if you want to be specifically like directly next to a trail, hit us up. We'll help you identify those neighborhoods. Or you want to be super close to the beach, what beach, we'll kind of get you dialed in from there. So all these neighborhoods, like I said, are spread out through North County, but if you want to get dialed in, be sure to reach out, call, text, email, whatever's easiest for you.
Thanks for following along. This is where you come for all things North County. Definitely hit that subscribe button if it's your first time here. We are dropping new videos every single week on all things North County. So definitely keep in the loop if you're thinking about a move out here to San Diego.
And we got your back when moving to North County, San Diego. See ya.